accord.
Whatever.
Had to make sure you was on point. Yo, 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 it's Misha Deck. And
Your boy, Keymon.
so before you say anything else, this
Damn.
month is Women's History Month, and you're gonna respect me all month. You listen, get your face. You already look like you finna be defiant.
I am. Always. Always.
Give a shout out to the women that made history in your life. Like, what does the Women History Month mean to you, sir?
Oh, I don't know. Shit. Just grateful. You know, putting me on the spot, but I mean, obviously, big contributors to the world. Um, shit, and I'm raising three that can hopefully join that list of awesomeness. Um, so yeah, where I'm at with it. But then, okay, so if we're on on this topic, I guess it makes sense to ask you, new month, knowing this Women History Month,
Mhm.
um, reflecting on last month and this month, what worked well for you last
I got out of my comfort zone a lot.
month?
Like, believe it or not, there was things that even end in January, but I really stood up for myself on so many levels, like business wise, personal wise, um, even on yesterday. Yesterday is even though it was the first, right? I always do my prayer in the morning. I always talk to God, but what was different was I said to God, show me what I need to do versus what I want to do. Because if I lean on what I want to do, I probably am not doing what I'm supposed to. Because I'm always operating out of a space of, does it make me feel good? And sometimes doing good don't feel good to you because you're operating out of a space that's not um your direct line to self, or so to speak, right? And so I'm trying to get out of the way of thinking that I know what's best for me, and allowing God to show me, whether it's through alignment, like I'll have a thought about something and somebody will call and be like, hey, so I was thinking about, and then I'll be like, hold on, like
Mm-hmm.
I just talked about this. How did you? So learning to read what alignment looks like for me, and continuing to step out my comfort because I'm realizing there is a lot of things don't move without me. I noticed that with family stuff. And if I know that I hold the key to that and I'm not opening up the space with the key, then I'm leaving a lot of people behind a closed door. And I say that to say, like, so much has unfolded in like the last week alone, which I'll actually talk about on this episode a little bit. But to answer your question, that's what it's about. New month for me. March is very significant. The after agency turns 3 this month. My bio mother's birthday is March 6th. March 8th is International Women's Day, and being a woman and being proud to be a woman and also beating so many different odds and continuing to do so. Um, like your 3 babies are 3 babies to me. My nieces, all the babies that I have access to and these young girls, like I don't take my role lightly, and
Yeah.
making sure that they have someone to look forward to as far as being able to give advice, whether it's just even listening. Sometimes they just want us to listen.
Mm. So where's your heart at in March? Where you at? Where's your heart?
My heart in March is not even trying to be like redundant. I'm marching through it. Like I'm taking my dad on a trip this
Mm.
month, actually next week. It'll be our first vacation together. And I'm doing making it happen.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm going to document that because I've come to the realization if I want the relationship that I'm seeking, I got to be the director of it. So that's going to be out of my comfort zone to go out of state and travel with him for a week. So that's it's going to be interesting. Um, I have things that I'm looking forward to with like I have a family reunion. Um, it's just a lot. It's a lot. I started a conversation recently with a family member that was like overdue. I want to see where that leads to. And then yesterday I went to visit my great aunt and I had learned some family history stuff that was mind blowing. And I was like, oh, that's
Mm.
interesting. Like I found out how my great great how my I found out that my great great grandmother was Creole, which makes sense because my grandmother, as dark as her and her siblings were, they had the most beautiful hair. I always wondered how they, and they luckily me and a couple of cousins got it, but like they had some really beautiful silky black hair. Shut up. And then then I found out my great grandfather, my grandmother's father, he was an F boy. Like he was a straight up F boy. And so he was a sharecropper and he with sharecroppers they do all
He
their
shared.
well and they have to, they get their earnings all at once, right, for the year. And so apparently he was out in there and got gaffled one night by a woman, took his whole year wages, and the next day they found him in the field dead because he had a heart attack. Like,
Mm,
and I was like, that's a lot to unpack. And it's like
mm.
I come from that. I like that story. I'm gonna say something else happened. No, but it
Right.
really opened up a lot of thought processing for me to think about what I've conversations I've never had, thoughts I never had about certain lineage and things of that sort. So when you think about March being about women and history, and I'm stuck on the history of my own family, it's like, dang, this was a way to start the month because I had no idea that I would be having these conversations with my great aunt yesterday. So anyway, I have a
That's dope.
lot of doors to open and sit uncomfortable with sometimes because it's going to be some conversations and things that are not going to be for the best for me. But at the end of the day, if I am who I say I am, a community healer, if I say that I am working on healing, like it's probably going to hurt me a little bit for someone else to find the healing or clarity that they need for themselves.
Yeah, I think that's always or always has been like a thought for me when we talk about like this journey, being aware, the healing process, and then you speak about like you stepping forward in terms of being the director of how these relationships are formed, but understanding that you might fall, you might take on the grunt of the work, the what might go wrong, what might go right.
Hmm.
But the beauty of it is that I feel like we have, or we are continuing to create that cushion so the fall isn't as impactful, right?
You know
Like,
what's Yeah, go ahead. I want you to finish your thought so
no,
I can
no.
say.
So I think, and obviously not to give anyone a pass or
Mhm.
whatnot, but some people just don't, just don't think like we think. And we, and, so go ahead.
No, no,
Go
no.
ahead.
I
No,
wanted you
no,
to
go
tap
ahead.
on it. No, I'm praising what you're saying because my uncle literally, so last year when we first started the podcast, my uncle gave me a call and he called initially to tell me I need to come back home, right? Meaning I need to come back into the family functions. It's not the same without me. The energy is different without me being there. And I doubled down on where I stood about protecting my energy and explaining that I would love to come back around family, but I don't know how to because I'm not the same Tramisha. I'm not going to be all the energy that y'all need. I'm going to be protecting mine, but I'm still going to be present. And so, anyway, yesterday my uncle was at my little brother's birthday dinner, And he pulled me to the side and he said something so profound. He reminded me that he called last year and he said, I realized I needed to leave you alone. And I said, and I took it wrong immediately, right? I was like, I was like, you don't have to leave me alone. He said, no, I realized I didn't need to tell you what was best for you about how to come back because the way that you think and the way that you move is so beautiful that I didn't even realize that I didn't give you credit for the way that you think and the way that you do things. He was like, you do things in a way that I have never seen anybody. He said, he was like, you didn't even announce it, but you're taking your dad on a trip. He was like, you just don't do nothing for nobody else to it's way you do it. It works for you and it makes other people feel good. And I love that about you. Cause my uncle, he's a little boastful. Like he gets, he do things on a bigger scale than me. And me, I rather just like nobody knows where we're going. I kept it
How,
that way for a
how
reason.
do you know about the trip?
Exactly. My dad.
Uh,
Everybody knows that he's going on trip because of him.
uh,
He's like, yeah, my
he's
daughter's
well,
taking.
he's excited.
He is, and I don't want to rob him of that. And I never told him not to say nothing, but I also didn't tell him where we was going for multiple reasons.
Mm,
I needed him to feel. As a kid, I would have loved to have been surprised to go on a trip, and I know where I was going.
mm,
So I'm giving him. You know what they say? I want to give my kid what I didn't get. I want to give my father what I didn't get. Way I can I am reversing the energy here. And I'm showing that I am appreciative of what we are growing into. And a lot of times people aren't healed. And so I know how far I've come in my healing journey off of this alone. And so when my uncle was saying what he said to me and he poured into me and he just kept saying that he was like, I don't know if it's your spirit, I don't know what's the right thing to call it, but your entirety of your being is beautiful and I'm proud of you. And I said, it's crazy because you're the only blood male that's ever spoken to me like that. And I said, I know I'm standing here quiet. It's because this is a new interaction for me and it's unlocking, but just know it's full of appreciation. Right. And so these are the things that are happening for me based on me not reacting to what wasn't happening, if that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
It's redirecting that energy. And so for March, again, to represent a woman and women and how we move and the history that we made, not to sound arrogant, I'm making history in my own lineage alone as a aunt, like as a sister, as a daughter. Like my daddy don't have no other daughters that we know of, right?
yeah,
So like my role is so pivotal because I'm the only daughter, I'm the only sister, I'm the only auntie. I don't have no choice but to represent it right because this is it.
yeah.
And I had a conversation with one of my nieces that I'm estranged from yesterday, which is a whole different thing that I won't unpack here. But one of the things I told her, I said, one thing I want you to walk away with, if you don't walk away with anything else, figure out if you fuck with me or not. I said, because I've done the work to receive either or. I said, I can move knowing you do, and I can move knowing that you don't. That's where I'm at in my healed space. But for your sake, for you and you only, you need to figure out if that's something you want because it can be high by or it could be all love and updates. You tell me what you want to do because it's on you. But don't do it without forgiveness and grace because we all deserve it. We all deserve forgiveness and grace. Out of all the things that have happened and transpired in our family and where we are with each other, I'm going to give you forgiveness and I'm going to give you grace. And all I'm asking for it back, but also do it knowing that it's for you. And again, I told her, I said, you guys are all I have left for Wanda. I don't have any children. My story ends here, but you guys carry a legacy of a great woman But you have to know that for you, and you would have to want to make that a thing because you have a son now. And then my other niece has a daughter. You guys are, that's where Wanda, it stops for me and it spreads out. And if you don't know her and if you don't represent her, that would be a disservice to not just her, but who you come from. So as the only, again, only sister, only daughter, only auntie, I have a huge role whether I want to accept it or not, and it shows up and shows out just by being in the room.
No, that's dope. That's dope. And to get that, I guess that validation from your uncle is big. And I know we do it, you do it not to seek validation, but
Mm-mm.
shit, let's be real. It feels good when it happens.
But that's a trauma response. Not being able to seek validation is because you didn't get it. It's foreign. And then, whew, we about to unpack. So I graduated high school year early. I should have went off to college and did something major, right? I even went from high school straight to going to the UN in Geneva, Switzerland, and working in the UN as a research student through a program through UCLA. But because what I was doing was so foreign, so unheard, I even was handpicked by the county to pick other foster youth to be a part of this program, right? Before social media. So when you move where it doesn't come with validation and praise, you learn that that's the only way. And then unfortunately, when people give it to you, it feels so hard to receive because it's like speaking a foreign language. And unfortunately and fortunately, because two things can be true at once, you find yourself not being able to give yourself a pat on the back. But as I grow into this business and as we debrief this weekend, I work too hard for you not to say my name, especially when you get in the gift that is given to me from the higher power to show you what it's like to have light and what light looks like on a human. You're going to say my name. If anything else, that's what I would want. And so that is also a reminder, Trey Misha, it is okay to be acknowledged. Trey Misha, it is okay to be seen and to live out loud in a way that is healing for others. You know, people, you see how your light heals others, and it reminds you that you can't be stingy. But yeah, that's a trauma response, not being able to fully receive.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand and get it. Um, just for our viewers, I'm sick, so I don't know if you noticed that. That's why I keep like trying to go off mute, sneezing. I'm just glad the sneezing has come up. But no, that's dope. I feel like this is a church moment for you,
Oh, for sure.
because I feel like just with the two questions, I feel like you were already prepared without even us talking about it. Like, you know what I
I
mean?
just been sitting on it, just
Yeah.
sitting on it and praising God and having a praise report. Like, put it this way, I'm only working my business right now, right? No nine
Mhm.
to five. And I was telling Tranisha this. I said it's crazy. I was making all kinds of money and never thought to take my dad on a trip. And now that I have limited income, I'm taking my dad on a trip. And
Mhm.
it's a reminder that God is the trip, God is the income, God is the, we had that conversation. And it was like, if you think bringing in money was going to determine how you was going to move, then you're sadly mistaken.
Mhm.
And so it's like, I could have been like, oh, I can't take my dad because I ain't bringing in the money I
Yeah.
used to bring,
Yeah.
and it was like, even me even saying this out loud, like that's how, like that would be a disservice to God to not praise the fact that that's what's happening. Like income, it looks different, and you wouldn't even know.
But I also think that, you know, like regardless of the income, it really shows your priority, where your priorities are at,
Oh yeah,
right?
thank you.
Like, and that's huge. That's big in this moment, in this space. Your priority is giving, your dad that kid moment where he's gonna be surprised and building that relationship. So that's the priority that oversees or supersedes
Yeah.
the financial income, right? Because we know what's going on out there. Like, these moments are short,
Hmm.
and so kudos to you for that, for sure.
No, I appreciate that. I want to work on investing what happiness looks like and not always building a new narrative on what's not working. Like it's so easy to be like, this ain't working,
So easy, so easy,
and this ain't this, and then the
so
whole
easy.
time you get a random post pop up like on my timeline. It happens all the time. The random post. But what if it all worked out? Like,
But no,
like
and I think I reposted this the other day, but someone, I don't know if it was a pass or or where I saw it, where they were talking about that, where we can give you a whole list of negative things that are going on, but when it comes to the positive, they're very short or far in between. And
right.
that's just because we don't value the steps. We
We
don't. We
identify
lose.
it differently.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like waking up, that's positive, but we're not going to include that because we're entitled. We're entitled to wake up because if we wasn't entitled to wake up, we definitely would live every day like it's our last, and we don't because we're like, nope, because we're gonna be here tomorrow, or I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow. I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
Mm.
I'm gonna fix that tomorrow, and
And,
taking that for
and no,
granted.
yeah, because I heard it when I was leaving the gym. I went into the locker room and some guy was asking this dude like, "Oh, you about to work out?" And he's like, "No, I'm done. Unfortunately, I have to go to work." And I almost wanted to correct him in that moment of, like, not correct him, but like just
Right?
remind
No,
him, "Hey,
yeah.
you're fortunate." Like,
Fortunately,
and I had to shift that narrative because someone who was unemployed and had to drive Lyft all through the wee hours of the night to make it work.
yeah,
Like, shit, I'm fortunately I get to work,
yeah.
right? And it's funny because when I was driving Lyft, they during that time they gifted their drivers with a jacket if you hit a thousand rides.
Oh wow.
And so I remember wearing it back when I first got it, like, just throwing it on just run. And I was almost like embarrassed of it, right? Because it was like, you know, talking,
It's hard, right? You
yeah,
sure you are.
like, oh, this ain't a job, like. But then as I got older and now, like, I wear that thing like a badge because it was a reminder of my fortitude, my willingness to grind it out no matter what the
Right.
circumstance,
It's a
and it
stepping
and it and
stone.
it and it shows today, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so, and I'm like, damn, I really did give 1,000 rides. Like, that is crazy. That is
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Also,
I
I also
mean,
got fired from Uber
listen, we done all been
though.
fired from
No,
something
no,
or let go, but
no, no, no. You gotta understand this story. So I'm in like North Hollywood area. So mind you, I grew up in LA, chased by dogs, all this, like pit bulls. Uncle had a pit bull that he used to fight back in the day, like all this. So trauma. But
yes.
so I pull up on on somebody. They had this big old dog, pit bull. And
You can't get here.
here, and that became a whole thing, and they deactivated my account. Until this day, Tim be like, he'd be like, "Man, how you get fired from Uber?" And it's so funny, but it's a true story. Like, nah, like, and I think at the time I was driving my Prius, so it's like a pretty tight
Oh,
seat with
right.
space. man, you ain't about to have this pit bull and he snap and take a bite out of my shoulder. Nah, you ain't getting there. I just slowly
Not out of
reversed.
your shoulder.
Just man. So I was yeah. So but just reminiscing on that is just like just having the will and the want and the drive to just make shit happen.
And it's crazy because it's like we will tell ourselves or beat ourselves up about something and say, like how you was like, live, like, I don't, people gonna think I ain't got a job. And the whole time you earning money, so you have a job. But it's the way we perceive it, right? And then we're caught up on what others see about it. And so it's just it's one of those things like when you think about it, my first job, I was making bulletins for under $1 for a mega church, right? Like I was in there from 6 in the morning to like that's child labor laws, like all over the place. But I was so proud to be 10 with a job that I think as I got older, nothing seemed to be beneath me, but I did start questioning what I was willing and what I wasn't willing to do. But even now, I'm trying to see how it all works out. Like,
Yeah,
because especially my testament has always been God has never forsaken me, even when I was without. I, but have I ever really been without? Because
yeah,
the good thing is my tribe has always had. So I've been poured into, and
yeah,
I say I try, meaning because sometimes I don't know if I do it enough, but I try to pour back. And I know some
yeah,
people probably be like, dang, you doing something I would never do. And I'm sitting there going, well, somebody did it for me. So,
yeah. No, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
but
I think it's the simple things in realizing that's it's the weight. That's the weight. That's going to be heavier than any tangible item, that we receive because
yeah.
shit, like Liska came and and threw away a jacket the other day. She was like, "Look at what happened to this jacket. This jacket been in the closet, never worn, and it just wore out." Have your relationships worn out? Right? Like that's what it is, right? And it's all about what we pour into and how we view things and us continue to show up for those who sit in front of us, right, left, and
Yeah.
shit. Right now, it's a time. It's a time.
No, it is, but I appreciate this space because I don't even know how much I wanted to share or if it was just gonna show up. But I'm definitely praying that by the end of this month, this conversation has evolved and outcomes have come from it that are dope
Hmm.
and they're feel goods. And I won't, me and my daddy ain't killed each other on this trip. We have two trips this month. So we
Yeah.
have my trip with him, and then we
Yeah.
have our family camping trip at the end of the month, but it's going to be with all family. But
Hmm.
I pray by the end of March we still father and
We
daughter.
just still right there.
Look. I hope he don't strip me of my last name. Give me that back.
You guys
So
will
I
be
know
good.
you asked me earlier about what this month will bring for me. I would love for you to close out on what you want to get out of March or how you want to evolve in March or
The biggest thing for me is understanding or reminding myself that turbulence is turbulence.
mm, it's not a crash.
It's not. It's not. And right now with what I have going on, it's shaky.
Yeah.
And my my thought process today in this turbulence is just remain calm. Just remain calm.
Remain in your seat.
Exactly, exactly. And so I think for me that is the driving force for this month is to continue to show up despite how um the turbulence may feel,
Mm.
or how strong, or how what that looks like, because I'm also understanding that it's a bigger picture in terms of what I want to accomplish, and also who depends on me, right? Like, and not just talking about family, like the girls, and this is just the circle in general. And so, yeah, I think I will close it out with that.
Well, with that being said,
With that being said,
why
why
be?
be negative? No, because I'm about to cough. That's what I'm trying.
I want the people to hear.